So I will,
I'd like to make,
everyone.
I'd like to make a motion to open.
Oh, that's new. The meeting is now open, according to Greg. You're being recorded, so
It's actually, that's what the WA.
Julia is coming, as far as I know.
Said she was.
But in the meantime, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes from January 22nd, I think it was.
So moved.
Any discussion of the minutes?
No, I read it and I don't remember anything coming out that made me surprised, but
Okay.
probably
Well,
we didn't focus. See what,
everyone thinks the minutes are okay. I would entertain a motion to approve them.
we'll see if Julia's.
Oh, Julie, do you have any comment on the minutes?
No, I looked at them. They were fine.
Okay.
So do you need a second or you?
Yes.
I'll second it. Sure.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, I got through that one. Okay, good. So requests for payment, we'll go through those. Although maybe in the interest of Bran, maybe you'd rather go first. That's fine. That's fine.
Speaking on the stage.
Yeah, you don't have to hang out. I see Christine is there too, so. That's an interest. So as you recall, we kind of deferred a full discussion, though we did touch base last meeting about the ADU situation and how it would be great if there was a way to give WQI funds towards the usual need to install a IA septic in one of those projects that, you're adding a bedroom, and generally that pulls the trigger, and they're generally older houses. And so it goes against the criteria that we've used up to now, though there are compelling reasons to rethink that. But as Greg has wisely done, he has invited Bran here, who's the head of the Community Housing Board, to explain a little bit of the ADU process to us, just so we understand how it goes.
One of the things that, again, this is talking with Liz, was where this intention came about, that what we do is, we're the last people on the gravy train, if it were, and there will have to be somehow a kind of a tick marks between how the ADU process works and how we work, and how we set aside money compared to what the AOs. So that was the idea, was to understand, so that if it becomes legal to do this, and that's a big if,
I mean, there's a lot of, yeah, but I mean,
the idea here was that, we'll start the conversation now where it's not being requested, because we don't, we're not in a position right now where we know if we can legally do that, and when some of these activities, the interface between WQI and AUD, how that.
I mean, the ADU, correct me if I'm wrong, the process is a little more, rapid, shall I say.
Ours takes a little longer.
Pardon me?
And ours
takes a little bit longer, and there's a lot more engineering involved, perhaps. And the ADU grant is good for a certain amount of time. Why don't we let somebody who knows what they're talking about explain it to us?
Sure. Brady Johnson, Community Housing Board Chair, taking over for Liz just this month. So I'll explain as best as I understand the whole thing. The ADU program that we're participating in is called Plus One, and it's a New York State grant. So basically the program comes down from the state. We apply for that grant along with CDLI, and they're administering the grants to people. I handed out the little flyer, it's the basic information, and we've been in this program for about a year plus.
Yeah, a year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half. And some of the first projects are, first 4, I think, projects are complete. We got $2.5 million from the state, or, earmarked for that first grant. And that would be about 16 slots. And we have applicants for all of those. Maybe one just dropped out. So, it's kind of a fluid process. Part of this process is obviously the IA upgrades that people might need to do.
And it's it's 125 max, right?
It's 125 for the grant. About 10 of that, I think, or 15 kind of goes to CDLI for doing all the paperwork.
Administrative stuff.
And, it's 115 maybe in cash to your contractors. So the CDLI is holding the money. They go through with there's a bunch of checklists everyone has to do. You have to get architectural plans. You have to get the building permits from our building department. And, you get a couple quotes from builders. CDLI is holding the money. They pay the builders directly. The homeowner's not getting, this lump of cash. And, that's the way it works.
And the timing of it, how does this, when once you're approved, is there a time constraint there that I'm mistaken about that?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we're just trying to, there was a sort of a year in the grant from the state where we kind of had to have those slots filled, but it's been pushed. Because it's been a process getting people through all these, check marks.
Right. I mean, it's not dissimilar from the IA grant, really.
Yeah. I have a spreadsheet of our people, our list. And, they're in all different kind of stages. But we have 4 that are closed out or complete. 1 is under construction. A couple more are in the design start, but they've all signed contracts
Signed the contracts with,
CDLI for the the grant, that agreement. And then we have a couple other where the funds are committed, and a bunch that are sort of still in the application process, but they've gone through the checklist. They are eligible.
So I'm sorry, I missed the total that have signed, that are like at least signed in it, roughly.
Well, however much money you had is what you said, right?
Like how many will actually do?
Like will have signed, but there, you said 4 are already constructing,
Yeah.
waiting on design, like just like who is signed, like how many have signed?
9 out of that 16
Or in process.
are in some process, yeah. There's a bunch that are like, pending plans designs, pending ZBA approval, pending
Right. There's a lot of moving
variances.
parts.
Yeah, there are a lot of moving parts, and there are a lot of people who have gone through but dropped out or aren't eligible. A lot of that has been.
There's a income constraint as well, right?
Yeah, I know a few people who have not qualified because of the income, but you'll see the numbers there, and actually those are lower than the current numbers. For income, it's pretty, they want people to apply, and it's not, they want people to be eligible.
is that that money, the income, what are there other reasons that bounce into the CD at the
Zoning
year?
here, zoning here is a big one, like the near shore overlay, ADUs are not permitted. So a bunch of people have wanted to do it and have the room in their properties, or they might even have the accessory building. But because they're in the near shore, they're not allowed to create an accessory apartment, a year-round accessory apartment.
They can have an accessory apartment, but I think it's limited to family and whatever. I mean, it's a very,
Yeah.
very loosey-goosey
Yeah.
thing.
It's accessory dwelling units.
Right.
So accessory sleeping quarters are allowed. Not
Wouldn't have
accessory
I wouldn't have a
apartments.
kitchen.
Yeah, you can't have a kitchen, you have to, like, it can't be
Okay.
for year-round residents.
Yep.
Or not a family, I guess.
Right.
You can, so
But it
it's,
could-
But a kitchen's defined as having a stove.
I mean, the accessory dwelling unit in this program is specifically designed to be a year-round
Standalone.
rental to create income for the homeowner.
Right.
So the homeowner, can stay in their,
So, once this is, so there's no, once the thing is signed, there's no time constraint for how long it takes you to get it online?
that I don't remember if we were ever given, like, when the funds have to be spent by. They wanted a timeline for us to get committed people into the program, but that did get pushed, because originally it was like September of last year, and I think it's gotten pushed even.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy that I know that he kept pushing, he seemed to think there was a deadline of some sort. And so once one commits to the ADU program, what constraints do they have on their rental ability? I mean, is there a limit? How's
There isn't
the
a-
rent set?
This program is not specifically an affordable, and it doesn't need to be affordable in any way. It's kind of like a market rate rent, but the income qualifying is on the homeowner. Like, the homeowner is supposed to income qualify as long as they make under, whatever the guideline is, then they are eligible. But it's also, so it's what I said, it's designed to make the homeowner some extra money. So the state did not make that a requirement. It's something we are consider.
Could you make it
We could make.
a requirement?
We could probably make it a requirement if there were town funds involved in some way. So if the CHB with our community housing fund, we're also giving these people a loan, we could put some kind of lien on that and say, we'll give you the special community housing license for this apartment, and it has to be rented at, a fair market rate or whatever the affordable rate is. But right now, what this program is designed to do is create more options, more housing options. And because they're accessory dwelling units, they're only going to be one or two bedrooms. They're, either conversions to a garage, a barn, part of an existing building that's being separated and created an apartment. So I think in a lot of ways they are going to be more affordable for Shelter Island, and they're going to create, more places that, that are year round, and that's what they are. They're year round leases. They're not for short-term
Yeah,
rentals.
right.
And the homeowner that gets this money is obligated to do what besides?
Nothing.
Nothing. Oh, 10 years. They have a 10-year obligation to have it rented out full-time. And then the loan is forgiven.
Okay.
So after that 10 years, they're doing compliance every year with CDLI. They're checking on, CDLI is doing all the, paperwork. They're checking on the leases. The leases don't have to be, as long as it's full-time, there's not a maximum or minimum.
So the person could do like a year lease or a 2-year lease, or just,
Yeah, or
Renew it
could
every-
be a very affordable rent for, friends or family. But as long as it's rented, and they have a year-round lease, then that's what the program's designed to do.
Yeah, somehow I had it in my head that it was tied to affordability. I mean, in more, more specifically, as opposed to like, oh, it's they're gonna be a one-bedroom thing, so how much are they gonna rent it for? They can rent it for a pretty good penny.
When you're thinking about the plan to build affordable housing units, those
Right.
would be, that's the other.
Well, they would be, but I mean, I thought and this is my own mistake. I thought that there was some constraint about,
I think a lot of people believe that, and it turned out not to be true, so.
But I mean, I don't know what the affordable rates for here are, but I'm guessing that it's close to market, right? Affordable rates aren't that low.
no, I mean,
Well, it depends on how much you make.
Well, that's true.
The guideline is, it should be 30% of your income. So depending on how people are making money,
Right.
it could be tight or significant.
But that's not a regulation, that's just,
Not in this grant program, no. Southampton is doing their own ADU program, and that is a requirement. That it's affordable.
okay.
I don't know if it's the +1 program and have put in a specific town requirement, or if it's just their own, it's definitely modeled after the +1, it's like the same amount of money,
Yeah.
but I think it might just be their own fund, they have
Yeah, I think
money to use.
recently I looked through Southampton, I looked through the Hamptons as to what they may have had for this, and it was boilerplate, kind of between what the documents that we have in program. It was the same thing,
But what
but
people,
I missed it.
our applicant Christina is running into is like that when they make these upgrades to their house, when they're adding another bedroom or apartment, you need to do the IA system.
That's gonna be extra charge.
right, no, I mean, and that's a rough thing. And that's why I sort of am in favor of this, personally, and not speaking for the committee. I'm not as happy as I was before I learned that there was no no rent constraint on it. I mean, that you could get as much as you could get. I personally, I feel more comfortable if there was. I could get behind this much
Right.
more.
Well, that's out of that's left the barn.
No, it has. I think it's something we could,
For the future? You could-
yeah, I mean, I think if it's something.
Perhaps it could be, if everything comes together and we're enabled to give a grant, and if a grant is given to one of these ADU projects, then perhaps then a constraint could be placed on,
Yeah.
the level of rent. And again, there's a whole nother ball of wax that would have to get sorted out as to what that rent is. What's a reasonable rent and what's,
That's a different topic from,
that's a whole different thing. And, I don't know that, I'm certainly not qualified to figure that out.
Well, there's formulas for it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pre-established. It's universal in the state.
Well, we'll put TUI on it then.
Well,
I'm looking at the 2026 HUD rates, which is, I think, what,
Right.
generally, communities will look at for figuring out, establishing thresholds for, rates. So if you're looking for 2026, a one-bedroom would be $2,379, a two-bedroom would be $2,747. So.
And that's in the affordable,
That's in the HUD,
22,000, you said, Amber?
Yeah.
Ish.
no,
20,
One bed.
sure, one bedroom, 2,379.
a month.
That's fair market, right?
Yeah, that would be the fair market. And so
For
then,
affordable.
yeah, communities will use that benchmark, and this is for Suffolk County, Nassau and Suffolk County. Or Suffolk, I guess.
And then-
And we'll start to use that as a benchmark to say, your rents need to be 80% of that, or depending on what program is developed,
Right.
you use those as your benchmark.
But that's a pretty hefty rent. I mean, it's,
but that's not, that's a median rent is kind of what you're saying. It's not necessarily affordable.
It's the fair market rent on the
Right.
HUD website.
Right.
So
like
fair
that-
market is not necessarily affordable, so you would then, as,
Reduce it.
reduce it by 20% or whatever.
Yeah. 80%, 50%.
That would be 100%, and then you say, we want to target 80,
Right.
people are making 80% of the area income.
As an affordable
So
thing.
that rent needs to be 80%, 60% needs to be 60%.
Although if you go to a Realtor and try and find a 2-bedroom rental on Shelter Island,
Yeah.
you're gonna be well in excess of that.
You're not gonna find it for 2,300.
Maybe
I saw some being
4,000,
advertised,
maybe
I saw some being advertised recently for 3,500.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe.
Well, I have to rethink things.
What are the
Look
people,
kids out.
you've got, there's one in construction and 4 complete? Is that what you said?
I think so. yeah.
So how, what happened there in terms of septic systems Christina, I think, is the first one that.
That is
No,
compliant
Christina's
to you guys?
application.
Well, I mean, Tom,
They had to put in
Tom
a new
Hossagen, did get ADU funds, I believe,
Tom,
Yeah, he's
on West Neck Road. We approved
At the last meeting.
at the last meeting.
Hashay, well, he's the son-in-law,
Pardon me?
son-in-law.
But his project,
Shaw family, Lisa Shaw.
his project is an affordable, an ADU?
It's an they got money for an ADU, but they had it was in a pre-existing accessory dwelling that they renovated. So it already had,
And it's an
Yes.
thing is an ADU.
he had gotten money from the housing or New York State or whatever, for to do the renovation. And he did need to put in, because the system was failing is what the problem was.
All right,
So he got.
It's a different issue.
It's sort of a different issue, but we made that distinction when we approved it last meeting.
But of the other 3 projects, are there any where the applicant had to, they were, forced to put in a new IA system on any of the other ones?
Christina.
No, I'm saying excluding
Other than
like
Christina.
anybody else,
We
like,
know that about that.
I don't
or
know.
were it circumstances where it didn't have to?
Can I say something?
Sure.
This is Christina on Zoom. I put in my septic system. I work for a group for the East End, which is the environmental conservation organization that was instrumental in basically getting the legislation that Prop 2 on the ballot a year and a half ago, and has basically made all these funds available to residents of Suffolk County to apply for. And so, I was trying to do the right thing I was kind of the guinea pig at my job, and I was the first one. I wanted to do it. I felt like it was the right thing to do. I didn't know anything about ADUs before I did it. I just thought it was environmentally the right thing to do. And then it just so happened that this ADU program came along, and I feel like you can't look at this one-sided. You're not only providing a place for people to rent, and the difference between the affordable amount and the market rate, it's a very narrow gap based on what I've seen on like the HUD websites. And so it not only gives somebody a place to live, but it allows people like me and teachers and people who, like right now, I'm approaching 65 and I'm not going to be able to afford to stay here. So for me, it would be a win-win. It will be a win-win situation. Whether I get my $11,000 my rebate from the town, that remains to be seen. But I just, when you're thinking about this, looking down 30,000 feet, I think it's really important to note that not all ADUs are the same, and you have different people in different situations. And I had to get a variance from the ZBA to get my to go through this process with CDLI, and I got my building permit, and I'm ready to go. We just have some final paperwork to sign, and then we're going to move on it. But honestly, I thought I was going to be getting the $11,000 back that I laid out when I applied for the grants from the state and the county. And then I thought, okay, well, if I'm getting this money from the town too, excellent. So in all honesty, I don't know if I would have put in the septic system if I, having to lay out $11,000, as somebody who works in the nonprofit sector, that's a lot of money to me. So just wanted to say that.
Christina, did you say that you had applied for the septic rebate before you started the ADU process?
Oh, yeah,
2024.
definitely. That was in 2024, I believe.
She was already considering
Right,
doing
that's
it.
when your application was.
That,
So the causality was different. She wasn't forced to get the IA
Right.
by the ADU.
so that,
She voluntarily put an IA system in.
Right.
that has significance to me, because she was already.
Well, yeah, it does,
No, in
but
a
then she's
positive way,
tied to the
and-
date on her red stamp. If
Right.
whenever the red stamp from the health department is dated, if you waited 3 years
So
from
she-
that,
yeah.
you could do whatever you want. But
Did you create brand new space?
No.
she hasn't done anything yet.
I live in a one bedroom cottage on Smith Street.
Okay.
And I'm so grateful for whoever owned the house, a couple of people before me who bought it. They put the house, they put in an unfinished but really solid basement. And so, for me, that's just been like where I store all my stuff. But I thought, once I heard about this ADU thing, I thought, why not turn my basement into something that, could provide housing, but also earn me some money so that I really could afford to stay here and on Shelter Island. And been coming here, started coming here in the 70s, and I've been living here full time since 99. I raised my son here, and I'd love to stay here. But honestly, this could be the difference between me being able to do that and not. So, but
Christina, if you, listening to our rumination about what, affordability and in rents and stuff, do you think something like, using the HUD rate or 80% of the HUD rate would be something that would be fair? Or is that?
Well, I haven't looked recently. I don't know. If maybe somebody there could look it up real quick.
Well, I mean, it was 2379, right?
Yeah, 23/7.
One
That
bedroom
was a one bedroom.
would be, 80% of 2379. That's a number we just sort of made up, 80%.
And I'm not sure that it relates to what we do on this, and what we can do and how we analyze,
Right.
whether or not.
I'm just, I'm just trying to get your feedback, because you're really a test case here.
Ground zero.
Yeah, and it's ground zero in a couple ways, in that, that the IA already happened, and now there's the change. And so that's one of the ways
Desire
this,
to move ahead.
yeah, this is bumping into, you can't do anything for 3 years, so.
But, I'm not saying, I'm just, an option would be, and I'm not sure what this, I couldn't find the red stamp in the folder, but whatever that date is, if it was a 2024, you're in 2026, so, it would be another year. You could, if things don't go,
Well, it's going to take, I mean, to get
to get this
the
squared away.
approval from the Peconic Regional Committee, we're,
But we might not need it. We're going to get an opinion from our attorney, I thought, about this.
You were able to get the county, the state, the state is pending it right now, is that right? The rebate?
Christina.
Are you-
Tina?
Oh, no, I've, long time ago, I got the county, the state, the.
Okay,
the
for the
20
septic system.
For
the septic system,
For
yeah.
the septic system, yes.
All right, somewhere along the line, there was a little asterisk, an asterisk next to that county or state, I think it was, but, okay, good.
That was because the bill from Petter Larson or Shelter Island Sand and Gravel, they had not, he's the one who gets the reimbursement checks. So he had not gotten the one, I think it was from the state, and that's what the asterisk was, but they got it like a week later.
Can I ask you, and this maybe goes also to Brent, we keep talking about 125,000. How does that happen? Do they give every project 125,000 or do
No,
they?
I think it's up to 125,000. If, you only needed $50,000 to make an ADU, they kind of prioritize things that might be lower cost. Because they want to get, we said 16 slots, it's up to $125,000. If for some reason you could do it for less because you have a great space that just needs
It's like a,
whatever,
HVAC or
partition and partition put in.
So for each of the applications
Yeah.
that come to the CDI, and do they figure out whether or not it's 125 or 40,000?
Yeah,
How does that, they
right.
come and look at the project or?
I think they have
how
two
does that
estimates.
work?
They get two estimates, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
but
have to get
They
different
come,
estimates.
they've come to my property twice. Originally, I wanted to do a separate building, but that turned out to be way too expensive. So that's when they came back. I mean, they're very thorough and knowledgeable, and they came and they looked at my basement and they said, "Wow, this would be great for a one-bedroom apartment." So, and the maximum is 125,000, and it was up until a few weeks ago, the 115,000 of that could be paid to the contractor.
Contractor.
Right, but now it's been reduced to 112,500. And that had something to do with some state law or something, I don't know, but so it's $2,500 less.
And what created that,
I don't know exactly.
that's something, we'll keep that on the list here. May I ask, and Christina, how, did they give you the 125 then? In terms of?
No, I don't get that money.
No, I mean, they gave the project, the project.
I
was-
haven't signed on the dotted line yet because I've been jumping through a lot of hoops to get to this point. I've been working on this for 7 months. And because they require, a lot of documentation. And I had to get a variance from the ZBA, which I did because my lot size wasn't big enough. But the ZBA basically said this is a no-brainer. And they issued the variance. And then I just got my building permit in January. So, now we're dealing with the nitty-gritty. I am with CDLI, and pretty soon the contractor, CDLI, and I will we'll sign a contract and the work will begin.
So you have that building permit, you have the project
Yeah.
design, they've come
Yep.
to look at it.
Matt
And,
Sherman did it, yep.
They will come back to you with the CDI is going to say, we checked contractors around here and the project should cost you, I'm going to make up a number, 50,006 cents. So, let's say,
Well, my estimate was for like 100 and, what was it, 137,000 or something. So, you have to come up with, I have to come up with funds. I'm taking money out of my IRA to do this because I think it's worth my while. But I don't know I'm sorry, what was your question?
well, I guess I was curious as to how much, you have got the county and state septic money.
Yes.
So that's already in hand. And when they gave that 137 quote.
Well, when you say I got that money,
that's as it stands right now, in terms of having the septic system. Yes,
the septic system was installed last March,
yes.
all done. Petter Larson got his $20,000, and I paid the additional $11,000, for plumbing, and the county required some other work on my property, which I paid for, but is under the purview of, the town would, supposedly consider that in the rebate. So, if I don't get the $11,000, I'll make it up. I'll just make it up in the rent.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
I mean, did you have in mind what a rent would be?
listen, I have no, a good friend of mine.
I mean, did you, like, in your business model, I mean, did you say, well, I have to get X dollars
yeah.
or?
Yeah, it would be 2,000 a month.
And that's pretty reasonable.
Set up one bedroom would be 1,900.
Just lost the thought.
But
Like, otherwise
for
it's just
here,
not
I mean,
worth my while.
I think if you adjusted it for Shelter Island, I think that's probably a reasonable, right? I mean, there would have to be some adjustment for what is the going rate.
Yeah. So that's the way it works with the CDLI. They'll come back, they'll say, we got this quote, it's 137,000 and it's that number, 137 minus, you said that they're now.
100, well, the difference,
Yeah, they're taking that, they're taking 12,000 out of the 125, basically.
correct, 12.5. Yeah.
Okay. This situation doesn't impact any of the other projects, I don't think, the four that are floating around, and how we the interfacing, what we do with the town money and what the county and state and the CDLI, we are the final pay. We pay at the end when everything's squared away, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think.
I mean, she's ready to get her rebate.
The IA system.
The rebate is gonna, when everything, when
The
the,
Canadian rule.
The reason why we didn't go ahead with it was because of this.
yeah,
But,
okay.
technically we could go ahead with it and, you don't know, like, I'm looking for the red stamp thing here.
What do you, when you say the red stamp?
Well, your approved design plan
Oh, by
Yeah.
the town?
by the
By the county.
Suffolk County Health Department.
Oh, that's the green stamp.
No, well, you got a stamp, you got something before that had a red stamp on it that looks like it, but it's the red stamp. It's your approved plan.
It's like when she first started.
They improved
The green stamp is after they've inspected the whole thing
And
and
it's done.
you're done.
Right.
So you probably got it way back when, when you first started.
That clock starting on when you're free to build more onto the property.
Oh, I thought it was 3
that-
years from the date, from like when they give you the green stamp, when it's
No,
all.
the red stamp.
The red stamp actually is in the favor of the homeowners.
Right,
because
I understand that now.
That's why I was saying, I was just seeing if I can find it. Not that I can, but,
I don't recall ever being asked for,
well, Matt would have it. I would guess.
Did the town board get a chance to ask your council about it?
I don't have an answer yet.
Okay. Because we really just have to decide if this ADU project is valid enough or has enough merit that we're willing to break the rule of.
Right, I mean, I think the referendum yeah, it was a referendum, like a year ago, allowed much more flexibility in what a town can do with the money.
with our money,
With the yeah.
the W.
But I don't know if that had to do with septic. That was more about what other.
When was this referendum? Are you talking?
It was like.
Well, they redid the law. They rewrote the law.
2024.
Right, okay, 2024.
63.
So it allowed.
Changed anything about.
I thought that was an ADU.
Well, no, it allowed more flexibility in how these committees could use funds.
It just said the Peconic people, that they'll write it up.
It didn't say anything about that. It didn't say, I don't think it said anything about that committee.
Well, they're the arbiter if there is.
Right, if there's a question, but I mean, can a town decide to do something on its own? I mean, they might not think it's a question based on
That
the.
growth thing, though. They didn't take growth out of the regulation.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that they meant like more flexibility in breaking the 3-year agreement.
But here's the dilemma in this whole thing.
The dilemma.
You have a growth restriction, and then you have the state running
Encouraging
around
growth.
handing out millions, tens, hundreds of millions of dollars to let people convert their garage to a unit. So we're saying, no,
That's
you can't
exactly
have
right.
growth, and the state is saying,
Bang,
convert
we
your garage.
want it to be.
Right, and sometimes it's often that the state comes down with something and a local government goes a little stricter.
Yes, but I'm saying that within their own regulations, there's a
Yeah, but
conflict.
that's what we have to do, that's what it comes down to. That's why I was just asking Amber if she had a chance to ask the council.
Right,
because
that's what we
I
were.
just have to know, like, what are the ramifications, like, if we are gonna ignore the 3-year stipulation and say, under circumstances, we're encouraging growth because the state wants us to have ADUs and we're trying to run this project and hit this obstacle with not
Right.
funding the IAs, but they really should be funded because we need people to have affordable place to rent, and, the whole thing. We have to decide if it's worth, or if there's any, do we have to change it officially in the town? Like, do we want to go back and maybe revise our law?
Well, I think that would have to get
If we're going to be
done.
doing more of this, wasn't that a good idea to maybe revisit it?
Wait, the questions you're raising, all the questions that we've raised is why I wanted this guy to come in and chat this through, because
Right, well, I mean, I think it's.
I've learned a lot already.
I think, if things evolve that we are enabled to give money to these projects, then maybe we have the constraint, or they put the constraint on that takes care of making it affordable. Which is something I wasn't aware of until Brand came in and told us tonight.
Yeah.
just FYI, I found the red stamp and it's from February 2025.
Wait. Okay, so yeah, you have to wait till 2028.
But 2025, wow.
Yep.
You went from green stamp to red stamp to green stamp pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I have a question, Brent, on you just did this estimate of like
I understand.
115,000 going to contractors and the rest maybe going to CDC LI to pay them for their administrative work and all that, right? So it's like 115. Is there any stipulation that you know of, like the 115 paying off contractors could be any sort of contractor that's engaged in the building of this ADU? It could be anything, including the company that puts in the septic, right? Like,
It's very strict. The contractor hires the subcontractors,
Okay.
and only the contractor gets the $112,500, and it's paid in increments. As a matter of fact, the contractor is often required to not like they have to put out money to get the project started, and then they get reimbursed by CDLI.
so there's one contractor who would be in charge of paying off, say, the company that puts in the septic, that puts in
yeah.
the IA.
Well, that's the way it works anyway. Yeah.
No, but I'm just wondering, like, usually, but I'm not familiar with how CDCLI handles that. Like, they're okay with this one contractor paying everybody else, right? So the only thing I could see is that if there's some sort of holdup with the IA going, and let's say it takes longer for some reason, then the only delay would be somebody who fronted the money already to get the project going would have a delay in getting paid, and CDCLI would have a delay in getting their money, maybe, right?
Well, I mean, I don't see why, in order to get a CO, they'd have to wait till they get the IA in.
Right.
But, I would imagine everything else could get done, and they get the 125, and, everything is done except for maybe the septic, I mean,
But she did a voluntary septic system before she even conceived of doing the ADU.
right.
Right. Yeah.
That's the dilemma.
I didn't know
Well,
that.
not really. I mean, it's just that,
Yeah, no, right, it's because of the 3-year rule.
right. That's why I was hoping that the red stamp was in 2024.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
anyway,
Well,
so
we have to wait for an opinion from the town
I
attorney.
think that's where we have to start and see if what flexibility the town has to act on its own and things like this.
Yes. Yeah,
I don't know that anybody's going to take us to the gulag for, because it's a compelling bunch of reasons why you would want to do this. To enable people to make it easier to do this, affordable housing being one of them, certainly.
But it's what Tui said, it's the initial law, the established law that we have saying no growth, basically, discouraging growth.
Yeah.
Now we have something that's saying let's encourage growth.
Right.
So we're just in a new era. We're
You're
just in a new
encouraging,
era,
you're
and now-
encouraging growth
one of the things-
for a benefit to the island.
Right, so I'm saying we're in a new era, so maybe
Right.
we have to
Well, but
reconsider the
this thing
legislation.
applies to Nassau County. They got, they got illegal apartments everywhere in Nassau County. I mean,
But I don't know how growth is defined in your instance, but what ADUs are designed, what we're trying to do is called infill.
yeah,
And it's like using existing buildings. Some people will be constructing new things, but it's already developed property. It's already homeowners that exist.
Right, but
It's
you're
not-
adding
But it's
the
not.
catch
It's
for
not
us.
creating a new build, it's not creating taking an undeveloped piece of land.
Right,
develop it.
No, but as soon
Our
as she
catch
puts
is
it-
any project that increases the design flow, like with a
Yeah,
bedroom.
I understand.
Right, because as
You
soon as
know-
she puts a bathroom in that other living quarter for the tenant, now that's considered, that would be.
Well, yeah, the bathroom has no bearing, I mean, you'd have to have a bathroom to
Well, I'm
pass the
hypothetically
code.
saying that. I'm not saying
But
So
the fact that you're,
if she added a bed, if let's say she didn't want to rent it out, but she out of her own pocket decided I'm going to make a basement apartment or make a second bedroom because my sister's
all
going
on
to
her
come
own,
and live
right,
with me. If she had the AD, if she got the WQI money, she'd have to give it back because she increased the flow of the house by adding a bedroom.
bedroom. If she just put a new bathroom in, let's say there was,
Or she could wait 3 years and then do it.
Well, yes, but that's So that's, regardless of whether it's an ADU or not, that's the increase in growth.
Right, so I put in a septic system that covers a structure that has
4 bedrooms,
3 or 4, I think it's 4 bedrooms.
4.
I live in a 1-bedroom house and I'm putting in,
It's just, that's the issue. One you can get.
Yeah, that's not the issue.
It's just how they define growth. It's not about the capacity of your system. Your system's good. I mean, it can hold more than you need.
I know, but like to have a house, a 6,000 square foot house with 10 bathrooms, like that's okay. It's, I don't know.
Well,
hear you.
but
Believe
we wouldn't
me, we
reimburse, but we
understand.
wouldn't reimburse.
They're not getting a grant.
No, but she makes a good
They
point.
sure aren't.
So,
I guess we need to,
get the opinion. That's as
Get the
simple as that.
yeah.
You could probably check on a couple things. I think that, maybe one or two of us might go over and just take a look at the projects that you have reached to that point and just see if there's other, there's a lot of worms in this, in the conversation. We came up with a lot of things that are kind of wiggly and slippery.
Well, yes and no,
maybe
they're
we
all,
could-
they're all growth. I mean, anytime you're doing an ADU, unless it's pre-existing and you're just refurbishing, which is the case of Ashhagen,
Right.
he just refurbished what was there, so he didn't increase the number of bedrooms, he didn't increase the flow, he just fixed it up so it was more presentable. In this instance, she's, that's one. There's another one where they can, on Albert's house, I think, kind of, they did a renovation of a garage or something in the back of the property. And that's,
Right.
was probably, it might have been an apartment before, I don't know. But if it wasn't an apartment before, then it's growth.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think they applied for funding, so it's irrelevant, but the
I don't know.
point is, it's, the growth is the stumbling block here, and the question is, we're on the horns of a dilemma because the state is saying grow, but we have a regulation that says don't grow. And so somehow,
Well, I know that I was,
somebody smarter than us has to tell us what to do.
was Steiner
It's not it's not just the state. I mean, the island is looking for places to live for people as well, I think.
Well, but the legislation that we must adhere to comes from the state and the town as well, but the state is the
I
driving
understand.
force for
Right.
the Community Preservation Fund, the Community Housing Fund, and the Water Quality Improvement Fund. It's all legislated at the state.
Steiner built an ADU and he had to put a IA septic in. I mean, he got a family discount, I think, probably, but.
Yeah, he did.
But that was an instance where, he had to put an IA system.
But he built something.
He built an
Brand new
ADU.
building.
Yeah, but and he added a bedroom or whatever. I mean, I don't know what's up there.
So it didn't get reimbursed.
No, he didn't.
Because he didn't even ask for it.
Right.
It didn't, he probably got the state and the county.
Right.
But that's an instance where of the things that Brand is part of the ones that are finished.
So let me ask this question then, which is an important thing. If he got state and county money, that means that the state and county doesn't have the growth issue. The town has the growth issue.
The town has the growth issue.
So it isn't changing.
The only thing that the county and the state have, they won't give money if it's undeveloped.
Correct.
If there's something on it and you're fixing it up and you're changing something, they give you money.
It's in the CPF funding
Right,
issue.
right.
About, that you're restricted.
But the 2024, my sister is a trustee in Greenport Village. They've been struggling with Southold to get CPF money for the village, town of Southold. Part of when the law was rewritten in 2024, 10% of the CPF money is supposed to go to disadvantaged communities as well. That's, it's defined in a certain way. Greenport definitely qualifies. I'm not sure Shelter Island does as a whole, but parts of our community, would, and, you know, the people who need affordable housing here would. So that's something else to consider in the use of these funds going forward. And I think when you guys all convene, when you have your meeting to redefine sort of how all these funds are being used, that's definitely something I know will come up.
Right. Well, I think we have a lot more questions than we got answers today. I think.
Thank you. You were excellent, excellent.
But I think it's good. I think we got to just keep moving this forward
Yeah.
as best we can, and hopefully Mr. Crouch will render an opinion.
Yes, it seems to me like this is a classic light at the end of the tunnel.
It's the
Let's
oncoming
hope.
train.
Let's hope it's not the train. Yes.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate
Fran,
it.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right. Galley. So I have you were the, or who was the?
Galley,
Galley was you.
I think I did Galley.
We had set aside money for a pressurized shallow drain field, which I don't actually see it specifically enumerated in this stuff. They put in leaching galleys, which is a different form of
That's something different.
it's a different form of a bleaching pool. You know, it's a shallower thing,
Yeah,
but it's not a pressurized shallow drain field.
right.
Unless Meg can weigh in on this. Oh, yeah, it is a pressurized shallow drain field in this case.
Yeah,
But what she said, what's written here is not.
okay.
So we have, so that.
So that would reduce the grant amount to 16,000, which is for the well, which had to be moved. And the IA system.
Other than that, it looked all right.
It's fine. I think everything is, she had a lot of stuff on there.
So are we gonna put a caveat in there that if the wording was incorrect on the form, but it is actually equivalent of shallow,
Pressurized shallow drain field, then I think we would say that then she qualifies for that 21. If it's just leaching galleys,
right?
then with what I know now myself, I would have to say, no, she doesn't
Right.
qualify for the extra $5,000.
But, I mean, that seems like we should just hold off on this until we can confirm that.
We certainly can.
Rather than approve it with an asterisk saying, well, unless James finds out it is a pressurized shallow drain.
Just.
Okay, well, usually she comes out of
Yeah,
the
she
cavalry
just texted her quick to
and
ask.
saves us all. But
Well, you're right. I mean, that's not how it was worded, and it doesn't. It
Just sounds like it's
doesn't
shallow
indicate
leaching fields.
right, which could be.
right, it's just a constraint because of where the property is and the distance to water. I think that's the issue.
Okay.
So we can wait on this unless we get.
Do you want to go ahead to another one?
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
We can go ahead. Next one is Rafalock.
There's
This is-
another question on Galley,
Okay.
if we leave it. The numbers add up, it's 54,000, and then it's minus money that's already been applied, so that's 34,000.
I have the answer. They did not get a pressurized shallow drainage field.
Okay, so then, finish your question, Greg?
Sorry.
Okay, well, no, then, I was just looking as to how that relates, the 34,000, and,
So it's $34,000, after the state and the county, so whatever our approved amount would be
Well, the well.
34,000 minus
Right.
16,000.
right.
But not 16 because they didn't do the shovel.
They did the well.
Yeah, they did the
Yeah, it's on
well,
the bill.
expensive well too.
Yes,
They did the well, so that she would get that 4,000.
okay.
And the word lines, the water, the wetlands application, Sean Barron. I wasn't sure what that, it's 664, I think it's a permit.
That's part of the permitting, I think, because of where they had to locate the thing.
Okay,
Had to do with wetlands.
It was in the regulated area.
So their out of pocket is like 18,817?
If, yeah.
It's
I don't think it's
50,
8,
20.
So if you had 34,817 minus 16.
I'm doing the,
So it
they
would,
got that and then they, expenses subject to town rebate is 21,000. However, we're gonna take away the PSD. James, right?
right. So expenses subject to town rebate is 34,817.
But
But
what was
Well, we
their
don't.
allowed amount from us?
their allowed amount was when we initially she was going to have a pressurized shallow drain field, so we put in the extra 5. This was after, this is the 12,000
So the 16 is
is the base plus 4.
plus
Is-
4. Okay,
Well, in the.
fine. Okay.
So would somebody like to make a motion to approve this?
I'll make the motion that we
16.
should approve 29 Peconic Avenue for Mary Elizabeth Galley at 16,000.
Second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Next is Singh, 48 Lake Drive, with a very expensive $64,615 system, minus the state, minus the county, out of pocket $39,615.31. We approved for $16,000.
there's no, she's got no money, at least on the version I have it, for Matt.
No.
You have a,
Oh, right, it does not have an expense, so that.
so is this a
might be more.
situation where she didn't put it in?
It doesn't matter because
It's still,
she's twice.
costs are way over anyway.
It's over, it's way over what.
Oh, no, I recognize it's over, but,
Oh, you just want to know what?
yeah, that's like, if you come back later on and say, because I think,
Well, but she's not gonna get any more money.
well, she's not gonna get more money, but when, if we're looking at projects and say, well, yeah, they had expensive this, expensive that, and.
I mean, you know, it varies project to project, but you can look at the other two.
Yeah,
Matt Sherman was 3,600 on Dennis's and 8764
yeah.
That's probably because of the wetlands.
possibly, you know, I don't know, with my daughters, he was up over 8. So I know that.
Anyway, the point is, she's well over what we're reimbursing.
Right, so it doesn't matter other than just for information's sake. So, yeah.
So I make a motion, we approve this reimbursement for $16,000 for 48 Lake Drive.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and then Dennis Rafalock, can you give me that one back? Dennis is here on Zoom, but it looks like it's pretty simple here. Except for, did you not have any other expenses, Dennis?
You're muted if you're there.
From sleep.
And music.
Because obviously it behooved him to figure out what other, he must have had other expenses.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good, okay. No, I had no additional expenses.
So you just had Matt Sherman and Shelter on Sand and Gravel. You didn't have to do a survey, a water test, or anything like that?
A survey, I'm not sure I know. Meg pretty much took care of everything for me.
I,
She kind of ordered what I needed and
um,
I followed her
because
directions.
we could only pay you then, the 4551,
Which is what?
which is
Well,
what
I think-
which the balance of after your town and, or your county and state grant. I would just check, because you almost have to get a survey and you end up having to get a water test, I believe.
You didn't have to do a well, Dennis?
Well,
You
You
didn't?
didn't have to move your well or anything or do anything to your well?
the cesspool, no, I'm not on the well, I'm on West Neck Water.
Okay. Did you need to move any of your piping inside to accommodate where a new location for the IA system? Where did it exit the house at the same spot?
There's a lot of external piping that was that they put in. They dug up a lot and because they actually moved where the old cesspool was to a different area.
Right, but did you have to replumb inside your house?
No,
No,
nothing had to
okay.
be done.
Electrician? No?
You would have had also an electrician, you would have had to have this hooked up. We're arguing on your behalf.
Yes, I know. I'm really sorry, but I kind of trusted Meg to take care of all this, and from what I know she ordered what needed to be done. And
I would,
said the
okay,
grants
hold
were
on,
covered.
let me look at this a little more closely. No, there are things that you should include that don't seem to be here.
Like what?
I think, I'd check on a survey, I'd check on a water test, I'd check on the electrician.
And plumbing.
Well, there might be, there may not be plumbing if he came out of the same spot in the house.
They've charged on other projects when people are abandoning a cesspit, whatever, or
Well, that's in the
30 grand, you think?
in Shelter on Sand and Gravel.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, it would probably be in that bill.
Definitely a
They
water
did- they-
But I don't think, the water tests and the electrician and the survey are not in their bill. So I would suggest that perhaps we wait on this approval until you maybe flesh out a couple more expenses.
Okay, so you're saying water test? Let me write this down.
I'll talk to Meg and just see
Yeah,
if
that
she
would
has
be
any better idea.
yeah, that would be the best thing.
Because there were, somebody had to have had put wire to it, so I don't know who paid that,
A wire to what?
they had to wire the system.
The electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, I'm sure. Oh, well, let me think if I can remember who it was. It might have been McGahee. I'm trying to
Okay.
think.
Well, I mean, either he
I'll-
didn't send you a bill or you paid it and
And you didn't?
I did.
put it down.
The only, honestly, the only thing that I paid was Matt. That's the only bill that I got that I paid was Matt. So,
I mean,
So
it's
I-
up to you. It's up to you. If you would like to wait and just double check on some of these other expenses to see if,
It's $1,000 or more, easily.
I would think, I mean, otherwise we can only approve a payment of 4551.81.
And you
40,
approve up to 12,000.
That's what's on this rebate request.
4551, 4,500?
4,551, 4,500 and 5181.
81, okay. All right, like I said, I kind of put it in Meg's hands and I trusted that she was taking care of everything.
Well, she may have,
Yeah.
you know, this may, you know, it may be, but I'd feel more comfortable if you looked at it again.
So you're saying there might be a fee for a water test? A fee
There might
for
be
the-
other expenses that you have that,
Survey, maybe an electrician, at least those three.
Because if you do, I just looked up his original application when we got it, and it looked to me like not an official survey. It was.
Right,
do you
it was
remember
just a drawing on there.
written in things,
Right.
it looked pretty.
and that's all we required to get the application.
Application, that's what we
But it-
require.
But Suffolk County's gonna make you do a survey.
Right, that's what I'm
Right.
saying, there's something, it may not
There's
be in
something
this
missing
package,
here,
but
you know, and in Matt's,
It was good enough for us
in
to
Matt's
have.
amount, it doesn't look like there would be enough money in there to cover the survey.
Well, he was approved for 12,000, so.
Yeah, so it was approved for 12,000, but, you know, there's only 4,500 of bona fide expenses.
Yeah, I'm saying to take the time and,
I would take my time if I were you, Dennis. And let's just double check. The worst thing you could do is wait a month.
Right. I'm not going to be back home for a month. I'm out of town. I'm visiting family.
Okay,
And I won't be back in town, but I could, the best thing for me is to communicate with Meg.
and I will as well.
Okay, all right. So the water test, electrician, what was the third thing?
Survey.
Survey, okay, wow.
Island funds,
Pardon me?
island funds.
That's,
That's what the
Who did his
survey is.
survey?
so that's an old survey.
Yeah, it was probably an old survey that I gave her.
But the health department would want,
You definitely have to have a survey.
they wouldn't accept that old thing.
I don't think so.
Well, somebody accepted it. The work was done.
I will also check with Matt,
Okay,
you know, and I think it would behoove you to wait.
to wait.
To see if there's other expenses that you incurred that you didn't put on your final bill when you submitted it.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, like I said, I'll check with Meg and see if she could assist me with this. Especially with me being out of town.
Okay.
Okay,
We can discuss this at our next meeting in March.
okay, March what?
First Thursday.
That'll be I think the day after I get back. Okay.
There you go. You have plenty of time.
Yeah. I'm used to winging it. Okay.
And
All right.
maybe I can find out in the meantime.
All right, that would be great.
I'll do my best.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, so
Nice.
I could check out of the meeting,
You can.
Yes.
guys.
Yes, travel carefully.
All right, thank you.
All right. Anything?
I did not finish looking at the Wenzels, which was an application came yesterday.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't think that, but I didn't think to get it out. Do that next.
Yes. I can't do it now.
We can't. Anything new finances, same, pretty much the same, which is pretty good, but,
The January hasn't been closed yet.
So the only other new business is me. I turned in my resignation letter.
did you?
The committee, yeah.
Oh.
So I sent it all to you. I just wanted to say I really enjoyed being on WQI. It's been 6 years.
Wow.
I started with both of you and Tim. Yeah, so, but I just have a lot of duties now with planning board chair, and I also feel it's like kind of time to let somebody else come in. 6 years is a long time, and might be nice to have a, new fresh face in the group, and
No, not really. But, okay.
yeah, so I sent it off today, so you probably didn't look at your inbox.
No.
right now. But
Well,
it's been great.
thanks for all your efforts.
Yeah, I have enjoyed it.
So effective next November, right?
No, in fact, like tonight's my last meeting. Yeah, tonight will be my last meeting with
Oh,
you guys,
well,
so.
so that presents a problem. So I am not here for the March meeting. I'm not here for the April meeting.
Oh,
Betty probably
Betty?
will not be back in March. I don't know about that.
Possible I won't be here for the March meeting, but I'm not sure about that. But,
so, all right, so if that presents a problem, I'm totally willing.
I don't know where
another meeting.
Sure, sure, if it presents a problem with quorum, that's.
That would be great.
Adjust my letter a little bit, so. Is that helpful? or-
That would, based on what I just heard, yes.
Because you need at least three.
Well, you-
people.
Okay, so the three of us can do it.
As far as I know, I'm good, yeah.
No.
Let me see if anybody's planned something that I'm not, I know that there's something planned, but I'm not sure when it's going to happen in March.
But you know what they say, the definition of being married is somebody makes the hotel reservation, books the plane, tells you, and somebody asks, where are we going again?
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. But,
Okay, so we'll check it and then,
yeah.
yeah.
Let's see, that wouldn't help with zooming in. So what? It wouldn't help to zoom in because then you're not part of the quorum.
No.
Unless you're taking care of somebody.
Yeah.
Last week is how Betty
Take
got
care of myself. No, that's a hard enough job. Okay, any other new business? So that the advertising to go, has to go out and,
Yeah, have Coco start working on it either tomorrow or early next week. And you were a community member, so.
we have, it's more flexible.
Yeah, just has to go out to the public, so it's not like we go to one of the committees to pull somebody. It has to be advertised, so.
Right.
So it will take a little bit longer.
Well, thank you for accommodating our need.
I really enjoy being on this committee. This is my first committee I've been on.
Maybe after the next meeting, you'll decide you still can't leave. No?
Well, I may not be able to, you might have to stay
For a while,
for a while.
Nobody's gonna be here for the next 3 months, so you're gonna have to stay.
That's all right, I'll make it work.
All right, then, Greg, would you like to make a motion, or would Tui like to make his favorite motion?
Tui's good for it.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Sure.
All right,